Let's have another leg of the Palawan Tour delivery mission, shall we? Going in the Yak today. Destination is Taytay RPSD, so in accordance with Palawan law, I will need to eat a radish before takeoff. Right then, that's done, and little drift there. Yeah, probably the wind more than anything, as we have 12 knots and it's all exactly 90 degrees sideways. So could have picked either direction to take off, but this one points in the general direction of where we're going, so that makes sense. Yeah, just be ready with the rudders to try and keep us straight in the crosswind. Doing okay. Yeah, come on, yeah. Up. Okay, we're flying. The Clint factory over there. Clint. Right then, bit of news first. This comes from the mission pack, where each leg is labelled 1 to 40. So what I've done a couple of times for pleasure flying is use a random number generator, and that's my 2 airports to have a trip to and from that day. Now, last time I did that, it was a longer flight, the sun was going down, and that made me realise that a few of these airfields in Palawan could do with some runway lighting. While I was making this scenery, I was only ever test flying during the day in clear skies, as obviously I needed to see everything and look at things to know what needed tweaking or moving or all that kind of thing. You know, the thought of runway lights at night was just something that didn't cross my mind at the time, unfortunately. But early mornings, late evenings, or even full-on pitch black middle of the night, that's a nice addition that I think we should have. So General Bumberg will be contacting light bulb suppliers, and over the next week or so she will be instructing some guy called Dazza to install them and then release a little patch for this scenery. I'll keep you posted on how that goes. Anyway, as for today then, well, it's daylight, so the lights won't matter, and we're off to Taytay. Now, at San Vicente, where we've already been to, there have been issues with passengers taking a long time to board their aircraft. Now, some people have suggested that the blue walkways there might be the issue, but whatever. Well, at Taytay, passengers taking their time, that's not a concern anymore, thanks to the airfield recently installing the prototype version of General Bumberg's very own speedy passenger boarding system. Now, in the 3 days that it has been in use, there have been just a very small number of incidents, such a tiny amount, where it's not even worth mentioning really, and I'm sure it was the passengers not using the boarding system correctly which was the problem anyway. You know, the whole thing was designed by President Bumberg herself and a team directly appointed by the General of her friends and family who were top scientists in this area, so I can't see how there would have been any problems in the boarding device itself, and it must have been the fault of the passengers which resulted in the almost insignificant number of 72 injuries and 8 deaths over 3 days. So it's not really worth focusing on that at all. You really should just be concentrating on the fact that the boarding times for passengers have improved, and that's the main thing here. The speedy passenger boarding system does speed up boarding of passengers. And that, as I said, this is only a prototype version, but I'm sure it's only a matter of time before they start building more of them, and they begin to appear not just across Palawan, but at all major airports around the entire world. It really is such a brilliant invention by our glorious and intelligent leader. Obviously we're just cargo flying, so we don't need to use it ourselves today, but you'll at least get to see the wonders of this device and marvel at its ingenuity. Our General really is an amazing person, taking the time to invent such a thing to help out aviation in this country. Yeah, just over there, that was on the left, the house where Dante lives. Yeah, yesterday he went out to an Indian restaurant where he had an incredibly hot vindaloo curry, and this morning his arse really stings. Nothing to do with the curry, he couldn't pay the bill, so the chef shagged him. But in other news from around the area, last week there was a report that someone had seen a large leopard roaming around in the forests. Now this was naturally quite a scary thing for the locals, so because of this dangerous animal being on the loose, the local officials had been asking people to set traps to try and capture it. Now mostly this went well, but one village did misunderstand the order to build a predator trap, but never mind. Apparently the animal has now been caught anyway and relocated to the airport catering facility at Puerto Princesa, so yeah, nothing to worry about now anyway. Yeah, so we can see the runway just over there to the left. The alignment of it is 02, so with the wind still the same at 270 degrees. It's not fully sideways now, but it has increased from 12 knots to 13 knots, so not going to feel a lot different to when we took off. Yeah, hopefully we'll be okay though and do slightly better with the landing than was made by someone at the Jet Airliner Training School, which is located at this airfield. Not sure what happened, but apparently there was an incident of some kind, probably just a heavy landing or something like that. I'm sure it was nothing much, although the school is currently shut, so I've heard. Yeah, I'm sure they'll reopen soon. Although for other schools, there is just up ahead the Busy Bees Elementary School, where they have a sign outside saying a child-friendly school. As opposed to what? Is there another school here with a sign saying we like abusing your children? Oh no, sorry, that my mistake. That is, isn't it? That's churches that do that. Not schools. Yeah, flying over the guest house now where David is staying at the moment after his wife kicked him out of their home. All he did was to spice things up in the bedroom. He suggested that he'd like to have a threesome. And apparently his wife got a bit upset that she wasn't one of the other two people that he had in mind. Okay, let's see if we can land a plane. Possibly better than the Jet Training School did. I'll try and get back on the centre line. That's better. Long float. That doesn't matter, it's a long runway. don't think that. No, that was. Ooh, crap. Yeah, not the softest, and yeah, just testing the off-road capabilities. Yeah, I think they're okay. Yeah, that's not great. That's going to be an abrupt runway sideways excursion in my logbook for that one, I think, which is a little unfortunate. But here it is then, the majestic General Bumberg designed speedy passenger boarding system. It's just fantastic how our esteemed leader can come up with such brilliant ideas like this. Although with the ambulances and medical people here, it does look like some more travellers have failed to use the boarding system correctly, which is of course totally their own fault, isn't it? Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, but forget about them and their self-inflicted injuries and that guy face down who didn't appear to be breathing. We've made it, and that's another successful delivery for Palafreight. And I'll see you again soon when we'll go and make another delivery somewhere else. Bye.